Okay, so the basic curl up, I'm just going to go through a few of the common mistakes that I see, and then I'm going to try and perform a few with good technique and just go through a few of the key teaching points. So I always start with the knees bent, we take it back, and if we start with the hands just behind the head, or we can link the hands together. If that's uncomfortable, if your shoulders are really tight, then we could use a position with the arms here. So before we start the movement, really you want to begin by just gently rolling the head back and tucking the chin in. So not lifting, it's much more of a curl up. So it's a curl from the start, from the neck, and then gradually curl the spine off the floor. We're trying to get the tips of the shoulder blades off the ground. So what I see quite often is using the arms too much and pushing against the head, so the chin is then pushing against the chest. So we need to avoid that. We need to let the head kind of sit in the hands and just tuck the chin. So that's where the movement starts. And then think about pulling the rib cage down and really activating your core. So your tummy is flattening out. You often see people come up and let the tummy rise up without using the core properly. So when we curl up, the tummy's coming down, and it really helps if you can breathe out as you come up. So all those techniques we learn in Abdominals 1, we need to bring into this. So before we start the movement, we're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, you begin to roll the head, drawing the tummy down, bringing yourself up so your shoulder blades are off the ground, shoulders and neck are relaxed, all the work in your tummy, and then control it down, breathe in, and then repeat. So just finding that technique takes a lot of practice. It's really important to be able to get that lift coming from the tummy and not using the upper body or the legs. So the more you practice this, the more effective you'll be able to train your abdominals. Okay, so once you've mastered the basic curl up, we can then add in what we call an oblique curl up, which is where we start the same. The movement is very similar. We breathe in, and as you're coming up, we begin with the chin tuck, and then we begin to just take the ribs to one side as you come up, and then breathe in. And then slowly, I always think the slower the better, and really try and feel your waist muscles pulling you across. And really not taking the elbow, we're taking the opposite shoulder across to the opposite knee. So the upper body stays nice and relaxed and open. Exhale, up, and then breathe in as we come down. Okay, so now I want to explain a little bit about core stability. So this term is used a lot, and it is basically referring to the pelvis staying stable as you move your legs. So it's the ability of your tummy muscles to keep this in a nice stable position. So for example, my legs are attaching here. If I was lifting my legs up and my pelvis is moving about side to side, okay, this is going to be unstable. So what we're trying to achieve is a stable platform. So as you move your legs, your core is keeping this from too much excessive movement. Okay, a little bit of movement is natural, but yeah. So these exercises, these next 4 or 5 exercises, focus on keeping this absolutely still. A good way, as you're doing the exercise, is your sacrum, your tailbone, that should feel like it's in the middle, and the weight should stay on that bone. Now if you lift your legs, if you get too much sideways movement, you'll feel the weight shift from either side of the tailbone. So that's a good marker as if you're doing the exercise correctly. And as I said before, the neutral spine, so we've got this curve under the lower back. So ideally, as the legs move, this stays nice and stable. Okay, so this is what these exercises don't look hard, but they require Focus. Okay, so the first exercise that we're going to do, which is the core stability exercise, is called a knee drop, and we lie back with the knees bent, feet fairly close towards you. So as I said in that introduction, we want to try and get the weight centered in the middle on your sacrum bone, on your tailbone. And if we get that correct, it means our hip bones are level. Imagine you've got a spirit level across here. And it's useful to actually use your hands on your hip bones, and all I want to do is very slowly begin to let one knee fall out to the side. Okay, so we go as far as we can without the hips moving at all. Imagine you've got a glass of water here, and we're moving the legs without spilling any water. So these aren't taxing exercises, but you really need to just focus on getting them absolutely right. Okay, and then we come up slowly. So that weight is staying right on your tailbone. And you're keeping your core, not gripping it, but just lightly engaged, being aware of it more than anything. Okay, so this next exercise builds on the knee drop. Same principle, pelvis stays absolutely still. And this time, I want you to lift onto the toe and then slowly bring one knee up. Okay? And then take it down. So nothing moves here. This is all perfectly stable. It's really hard when you change legs. The tendency is to shift the weight, where you just want to keep the weight completely centered and then bring that knee up. So again, you really have to focus on these exercises. Slowly down. You're keeping your core activated. And if you can, incorporate breathing. So you breathe in, exhale, and then breathe in as you come down. But get the movement first before you start adding the breathing in. Okay? So this next exercise builds on the first one. So where we did the knee lift, we're going to make the lever longer now. So you're going to feel this working more. So we've got a straight leg. So my tummy is flat. And then, again, we can breathe in, breathe out, draw the tummy down, and then we're just going to pick that leg up. Now obviously the leg's quite heavy, so it's going to try and cause stress in the back here. So we've got to keep this as a support. Think of it like a crane. And as that leg comes down, we're not allowing the back to lift. We're keeping our neutral position. We're keeping your core hollow. And if you can, just leave the leg off the ground, pick it back up as far as you can. Maybe flex the foot at the top and then slowly down. And just get the feel of your tummy supporting the leg. Point and lift, up, flex and down. Okay. Okay, so another core stability exercise. So again, we've got our neutral position, pelvis. Think of having that glass of water on your lower back. And all we're going to do is slowly push a leg back behind you. Trying to get the leg in line with the body. And then slowly back. So as you change legs, try not to transfer weight. Keep everything nice and centered. So there's no big twisting. Think of your spine like a broom handle, staying completely straight. And then back in. Slowly change. So as we change this, we don't want too much sideways movement, if any. Okay, so everything's nice and stable. Head position is important as well. You lift up through the back of the ribs. Okay, and then slowly back in.